With more than 3/4 of votes counted, results show Greeks have rejected the terms of international bailout by 61% to 39%. Voters had been asked on Sunday whether to accept or reject the country's multi-billion euro bailout deal with the European Union. Polling booths closed at 1600 hours o'clock GMT on Sunday, with 10 million Greeks eligible to vote. With 85% of the total votes counted, the no vote was leading with 61.5%, against 38.5% for the yes vote. Greece's Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras said the rejection of the bailout deal meant creditors would be forced to address the question of easing the country's massive debt. This time, the debt will be on the negotiating table, he said in a televised address, insisting that an International Monetary Fund report seen this week confirms Greek views that restructuring the debt is necessary. Tsipras said that the referendum results did not mean Athens was headed for a so-called Greexit. This is not a mandate of rupture with Europe, but a mandate that bolsters our negotiating strength to achieve a viable deal, AFP news agency quoted him as saying. Earlier, senior German conservative Michael Fuchs told the Reuters news agency that the Greek Prime Minister had caused a disaster. "I very much regret the result," Fuchs said by telephone. Greek Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis said the no vote was a resounding yes to a democratic Europe, adding that the government would call on partners to find common ground with Greece. Meanwhile, Varoufakis is conferring with the country's bankers over what to demand next from the European Central Bank, a ministry spokesman confirmed to the AP news agency. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Phillips, reporting from Athens, said the result shows a much better outcome for Tsipras and could embolden the Prime Minister to go back to Europe and demand a better deal for Greece. However, Phillips said that many European leaders had previously indicated that they cannot trust, and cannot do business with the Tsipras government. He said the Greek media had been heavily pro-yes during the campaign. Supporters of the Greek government had argued that a rejection of the EU bailout deal would strengthen Athens' hands in negotiating with Europe, our correspondent said. The AFP news agency reported that French President François Hollande will meet German Chancellor Angela Merkel in Paris on Monday night to discuss the outcome of the vote. The two leaders will hold a working dinner to evaluate the consequences of the referendum in Greece on whether to accept tough bailout conditions, Paris said in a statement. Merkel's office said the meeting would allow for a joint analysis of the referendum. French Economy Minister Emmanuel Macron said negotiations should resume with Greece from Monday no matter what the result of the referendum. Opinion: Greece and the passing of the nation-state. Tsipras had remained steadfast after casting his vote at a polling station in Athens on Sunday morning. "No one can ignore the message of determination of a people taking its destiny in its own hands," he told reporters. After failing to reach a deal with its creditors last weekend on an extension of its bailout program, Greece's ruling Syriza government closed the country's banks and imposed capital controls until July 6. The cash-strapped nation defaulted on an IMF payment of $1.8 billion on June 30. After two bailouts totaling €240 billion, $266 billion, and 6 years of depression, spending cuts, and lost jobs, Greece teeters on the edge of collapse.